Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for your fearless leader.
You got it, dude.
Hey, oh, let's go.
All right.
And here we go.
Welcome back to the Here We Go podcast. I am Trent Ging. We have the world famous DMC3 in the house and a special guest. If you notice, there is no Steelers stuff behind him because he's normally talking Pirates baseball. Gary Morgan from the Pirates Fan Forum and the Locked On Pirates podcast. Gary, Welcome to the show.
Yeah, this is going to be a different experience for me. Now people can experience my bad takes from a different sport. I love it.
You got to share the love however you can. That's the way to go.
And they will debate it. Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. So before we get into the Steelers talk, Gary, I got to know, how are you feeling about Connor Griffin right now in the spring?
I mean, he looks the part. I mean, he's certainly athletic enough. He's built enough. Like, for being 19, I'm sure he still has growing to do, which should probably frighten some people in the league.
Yep.
Because he could even get bigger and stronger yet. But he's already a full-grown man and acts like one too. I have no reservations about any direction they go here. I can make a good case for sending him to AAA. I can make a good case for keeping him. I do see some things that you could legitimately want to work on, but I can also make a pretty good case that he's still their best shortstop either way.
True.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's gotta be fun for you to cover the team right about
it's
now.
thrilling.
You got Skeens, you got the young phenom coming up. This pitching rotation looks pretty interesting. Corb has been just literally riding on the top of a mountain.
I'm on the rainbow, Gary. I am all in, baby. Let's do this. I am all in.
Mean, the funny thing is, guys, like any other year, the biggest story in the world would have been Seth Hernandez. You guys have not even heard a peep about him, have you? This kid's throwing over 100 miles an hour.
Yeah,
that's what I heard. Movement, the changeup is a full almost 15 to 20 miles per hour different with movement.
And he's right out of high school, right?
He's going to fly through this system, just like Bubba did. I mean, this kid is incredible if he stays healthy. And again, an 18-year-old who can pack on Mace yet. I mean, like, this kid can get bigger, like a lot bigger and stronger.
Vegas, I apologize. I will not say it like that ever
again. There's always got to be one.
You think there's only one, then you haven't been doing my job.
I have to say, Gary's been the 100-year war with this stuff. So,
guys, I've been following this thing since 2019. That's when I started doing this stuff. You know, it's not as though I'm ignorant to what I've watched, but I've watched it progressively grow. We've seen it coming, you know, and what they've done is really added a very, very small amount of money in relation to what they spent last year. Really just feels different because there's big names that came back instead of some of the things they were spending it on last time.
Right.
And
exactly.
This is no different really than shuffling a salary cap and getting a slight increase in it. That's what they've done this year, transaction wise. It just looks great. And it's because they had it already to the point where it really could have fielded a team already.
Mm-hmm.
They just packed it with better players to make it that much harder. They've pressurized the volcano. That's what I expect this year.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more.
Hopefully all right, we get to see him win for sure. But we're going to transition to the Steelers stuff, right?
Yeah.
The team that never rebuilds ever.
Yeah, ever.
Never rebuilds. We don't always do their best, but we don't ever rebuild in the process either. So, let's just get your reaction. We talked a little bit about this last night, but what is your reaction, Gary, to some of the moves they've made so far in the offseason? Do you have a favorite?
Pittman's a good receiver. Until we know who is going to throw the passes, I almost don't care. You know, like I felt this way most of last offseason. I had a really hard time investing in anything they did because, yeah, that looks nice. That side of the ball looks like it could play, but who's throwing the football? Like, until you know that, it's so hard to really feel that you understand the direction the team's taking. You know, we all assume Rodgers, and if it's that, okay, I understand why we're gonna, pull Hayward back off the Social Security line again, and
Yeah.
TJ still has it, and whatever else we're gonna do that's gonna be going for it. I get it, but if you don't get Rodgers, can you at least please just let the team lose so we can get a quarterback at some point?
Yeah.
Will Howard, baby. Will
Howard.
Fucking Howard. Let's do this. Okay.
A+ draft pick.
You think so?
Cora's been talking about A+ draft picks since the draft day, I think.
Like,
Gary,
I don't hate.
Walk with me down Sunshine Lane. So look, you go Will Howard. Okay. Here's the thing. You either get a diamond in the rough and say you make a deep run and you're like, holy shit, they were right. This kid's got it. Or two, you really, really suck. And you go like 4-13. And now you are primed and ready for the 27 draft that they're saying is going to be the greatest QB draft since like 1960. It's win-win. Like that's the way I look at this. Like you said, just lose. Fine. Or then go with the kid and then see what happens.
I have no problem with that in theory, but you hired the wrong coach to do that, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think you hired a let's see what happens coach here. I think they made a choice that said we're gonna do our best Mike Tomlin impression. You know?
That's a good way to put it.
And we're gonna move forward because I think at the end of the day, Rooney is comfortable with what they do. Like they win enough that you can't call them the Cardinals, and they are in the playoffs enough that you can't say they're Dallas, and and I guess that's okay. But we want championships, man.
It's why
you want championships.
It's why I've always said they love Mike Tomlin. He does just enough to get butts in seats, and then they don't got to spend as much money to do it. So, yeah.
I do think Mike McCarthy is a better developer of quarterbacks than Mike Tomlin was, because Mike Tomlin just became petrified of allowing anybody to throw the ball over the middle of the field. I mean, it was clearly coached out of existence in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
they had three different offensive coordinators that never ever did it. Right. Yet this is a team that invests so heavily in tight end. I mean, that's what I mean. Nothing made any sense under Tomlin at some point. You're getting good players, but not using them. How are you ever going to see what Howard was going to be with Mike Tomlin?
Right. I agree.
If his skill set isn't throwing balls to the outside the hashes, you're screwed. I mean, and that's what Fields wasn't good at. Right. It was terrible to never see them use the middle of the field. And I hope of all things that change, that's it. Because they can at least look like an average offense if they can at least use the whole field.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully finally now they'll be allowed to do it. Just absolutely fucking ridiculous that he shut that down. They weren't allowed to. It was just
I didn't know we were allowed to speak colorfully. I feel misled. You should have told me that I was allowed to say words like that.
Oh,
I'm not allowed to drop F-bombs on my show.
You don't remember when I came on your show and you told me I couldn't cuss and I slipped once and I grabbed my mouth like I
don't remember now, man.
Yeah, but yes, you can let it fly on here.
Yeah, I think my favorite move so far in the offseason, honestly, is the Jamil Dean signing. Getting the corner to go across from Joey Porter. We've paired him with the wrong guys time and time again since his rookie season. He's never had another press man cover corner where he can actually do what he does best.
Yeah.
I mean, he's coming off his best season last year, and he can only get better, I think, if he has somebody who can run with him. And Dean absolutely is that guy that can run with him. And then we'll see what happens with Ramsey, if he's in the slot or if he's going to play safety. And if he's at safety, who's going to play the slot? That's going to get interesting. But I love the pairing of those two.
Keeping Ramsey. I thought he would be a cap casualty for sure. But I'm surprised they kept him. I really am.
I thought him or Queen, one or the other was going to get cut. Yeah. I thought.
I wanted to keep Pierre too, but
I was fine with that too. But I mean, I'll take Dean, no doubt. I think their best move was bring Ademio back. Absolutely, solid defensive lineman. Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But
fantastic depth, fantastic depth.
But yeah, no. For me, it's Pittman. Like dude, we have been waiting for so long, for 3-4 years, to get a legit wide receiver too. That I mean, yes, I guess the bar is low, but if you had to tell me that I go from CA3, Skoranek, Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller to fucking Pittman now, yeah, I'm pretty happy. And I think, you know who else is happy? I think DK's pretty happy because now teams are not going to be able to triple team him. And you know, it's just one of them things.
See, so I go back to usage, David. I really do. Like, I'm not 100% sold that they didn't scheme themselves into having a terrible passing offense for real. Like, Austin was a fast receiver. They never used him over the middle where he could have gotten separation an awful lot. And I know he's small and that's scary to send him over the middle, but that's why you use those tight ends to clear him out. You know, like it made no sense, their offense ever. So we always cried about having this second wide receiver, but they couldn't even be inventive with DK Metcalf. Have you ever watched how Seattle used DK Metcalf? Over the middle, to the sidelines, deep, crossing routes, little turnarounds, screen passes. He did everything. And that's why he was an awesome receiver. He comes here, suddenly all he is Mike Wallace.
Trent, you brought up that it was like they used DK be more of a decoy than actually make the offense about him.
Yep. I said it quite a lot last year, actually. And it shows up a lot on the film when you watched it, is he was there to clear out so somebody else could try to get open behind him or underneath of him. And it was a backwards way of looking at it. And honestly, to your point, Gary, I've been also talking about, I want to see DK running more out of the slot to get those crossing routes and to work off of nickel cover corners who, you know, are going to be half this dude's size, and good luck jamming him at the line of scrimmage with that dude. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But I think McCarthy's system should open DK up a lot more now that he's here.
That's kind of part of what scares me with Rodgers to a degree. If Rodgers comes back, we're going to run Rodgers' offense, not McCarthy's offense, not whatever offensive coordinator they've hired, whose name I don't even remember. Doesn't matter, because we'll run Rodgers' offense.
And God forbid someone gets in his doghouse. You get in Rodgers' doghouse.
He'll average passes of 1.5 yards beyond the line of scrimmage. That's what he wants to do right now. That's the way he wants to run offense, and then take shots every once in a while. Just like Russell Wilson had what he had become. Dink and dunk and take a bomb. Well, that's what Rodgers has become. Like, that's the offense we'll run. So, like, I don't know. Doesn't matter any of this until you figure out who's throwing the football. That's the thing. I love everything I watch. I like Pittman. I'm excited about it. I really am. Who's throwing him the football?
Yeah.
He hasn't had anybody to throw him the football for years in Indianapolis. Yeah. That's why he was available relatively cheap.
Yeah, Trent, you posted the tweet, didn't you? Of all of his quarterbacks, it was murder's row in a bad way. Yeah.
Yeah. I was sitting there. Well, because we always pick on Dave on the other show.
Are you seeing this? The Ravens are backing out of the Max Crosby trade.
What?
Well, it was legal tampering, not official. So, 2 first-round picks. Somebody must have told that owner, Paisan owner, that it wasn't a smart idea, and he was like, "That's a stupid thing to do." I love listening to that guy get interviewed. Oh my God, so funny.
Yes, it is.
I wish he was our owner. I really do. I loved listening to him talk.
Because he's straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's straight up. He don't. I don't know. I'm not
Dude,
seeing that anymore.
Tyrone's on it now.
I found it.
Still
Adam
loyal.
Schefter. I found it. Adam Schefter. Baltimore Ravens have backed out of our trade agreement with Max Crosby. We'll have no further comment at this time. Wow. Oh, the Raiders announced that the Ravens backed out.
Wow.
Woo.
Wow. They must have realized that there weren't any quarterbacks in the first round worth taking a crap at. Because there aren't.
That's crazy.
Damn, that is crazy.
That is really, really crazy. That's okay.
I'll tell you what I'd like the Steelers to do. If they are we going to talk draft later? Probably.
We can talk whatever you want. I'll be honest with you. I didn't even write the show. We're free, just winging this thing.
Good. That's the best.
So let's
kind of
go.
show, I think.
Gary, you're running this thing, bro. Whatever you want to
Let's
do.
go. You're the guest.
Down. Let's go.
Steer the ship, and we're following.
I would like them to see if they could take a flyer on a guy like Drew Aller in the second or third round and try to develop him behind whoever they bring in. I think he's got some talent.
You're breaking my heart, Gary.
Him and Will Howard
back.
Him and Will Howard would be a pretty cool combination to back up whoever they bring in as the starter. I just don't want it to be Mason.
Some men just want to watch the world burn. I am that man. See, I want them to go with Will Howard while also drafting Drew Aller with the 99th pick in the draft. Because I just want to see everyone's heads fucking explode.
Great minds, man. You want Ohio State and Penn State to be an eternal battle here over the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I love it.
For the podcast business,
we already got the Harrow Franco thing and Connor. I mean, we've already had this internal battle going on. Ironhead Hayward, Cam Hayward. Come on, Pitt wins.
I'm not a Drew Aller guy.
It's too good to pass up. We got to do it.
I honestly think he's probably one of the most talented quarterbacks in the draft, and I think you could steal him.
I couldn't agree more, Gary.
But
how about that, Trent?
He's the only. I don't think he's necessarily somebody that would be ready to be ready-made. So he would need to sit behind somebody, and Rodgers does a good job with that. Regardless of what you think of him, he does a good job with that. I actually think he has done some good work with Will Howard, according to both of them.
Yeah.
But I just think what the Steelers are assembling around, I don't think you can go with a rookie quarterback because you couldn't pull the ripcord fast enough to execute the free fall that you'd have to take to justify it. You'd have to pull a ripcord and mid-season trade TJ Watt and whoever else you could get rid of to try to tank as hard as you could. And they got all the draft picks now. There's just nobody to draft. So just beef up the offensive line that you just let fall apart again and take another trip at it.
Well, I think they set themselves up because they thought this draft was going to be the one with all the really good quarterbacks. Yep. And then Klubnik and all these guys, Nussmeier, all these guys end up sucking. And then some of the other quarterbacks that could have been pretty good quarterbacks decided to stay in school, like Moore.
They're making about $8.5 million a year. I would stay in school too.
Right. So that's what I think happened. I think they set it up where they wanted it to be the draft in Pittsburgh, multiple picks to use to trade up to get their guy, and it all fell apart. So yeah, I think that's what their plan was. So, oh well. Now let's hope they don't reach.
Yeah,
that's the part that scares me. I don't want them taking Ty Simpson in the first round.
Well, the good news about setting yourself up for this draft class and then not getting the quarterback is now you have all these picks where you can load up the roster for the quarterback in 27. That's the good news. Is there's still plenty of holes on the roster, and we need to bolster the roster. And we have 12 picks. I can't see us using 12 picks. Maybe 9 picks in this draft is what they're going to end up taking because you can't even. I don't even know if you can roster 12 guys on the 53 out of a draft. You know what I mean? So I think, especially with this thing being in Pittsburgh, don't you think they're going to be aggressive in the draft and trade up? I keep saying 2. I think there's going to be 2 trade ups in this draft for us.
I just don't know what they would be trading up for. There's that one kid that they just had a meeting with, the offensive lineman out of Miami. I think he is
Marcel Ball.
He's gigantic.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that would be a guy you'd have to move up for, and that would interest me because that's a cornerstone type player. Yep. That's what I thought Broad was too.
And I am all about beefing up the O-line to take the franchise quarterback in 27.
Well, there's nobody in free agency that can play Salomalu's position, so you got to do something. You're gonna have to.
I agree with that.
Well, I just don't want to be the Bengals where we draft the franchise quarterback, but we don't have an O-line to protect him. So then he gets killed all the time. So I'd rather have the O-line ready to go now than
the Bengals are a special kind of stupid. That's like calling applesauce apple juice.
Yep, absolutely.
The Bengals are dumb for real. They had a glut at the talent position, and they wanted to try to keep their quarterback happy in the wrong way. Should have convinced him that there was another way that they needed to keep him happy that was much more important. And you hold on to Chase, the exceptional, and you let Higgins go. They were never smart enough to do that. That's all. The Steelers do the same stupid thing. They should have traded TJ Watt last year instead of extending him. Absolutely 100% should have. And this team doesn't have the balls to do it.
Nope, they don't.
So even if they lose, they're not going to do what they need to do. Like if we draft 12 people, there's absolutely no way they could all fit on the roster because this team will never move on from people that are even using walkers at the line. I mean, they're done with it. They're loyal to a fault, and that comes from Rooney and not Tomlin. But Tomlin was the enforcer. Maybe McCarthy can speak reason into their ears about some things.
Pregnon's another one I wouldn't mind if they don't get somebody in the first, second.
I'd really like him in the second round.
Mm-hmm, me too.
And you would have to trade up for him in the second round because he's probably early second.
He won't make it to 51. There's no doubt in my mind.
I don't think so either.
No.
But it's cool. I mean, the draft will be fun. Like, because you're right, they should be poised to wheel and deal. I just again don't know what they're moving up for. I'm not real big on the draft analysis kind of stuff. I don't do that. I have too much on my plate with the Pirates to deal with that. But you guys, I know, put a lot of work into it, so I trust what you say and everything. But more than Mel Kiper for sure. I don't listen to anything he says. If he says it, I think the opposite.
Dude, yeah, like that. The dying on the Shador Sanders Hill was just,
bro. They still are.
I know.
Yes. Like, he is.
Collectively, the media still is. He is still their messiah. I mean, there was nothing that said it more than the Pro Bowl selection.
Yes.
Nothing more.
Yep.
It was hilarious. I mean, like, it was the most cringy selection ever. Even people in Cleveland were like,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, he was all right in the second half. Yeah.
You got people like Josina Anderson. They're just like, oh man, Shador's the GOAT. Now he's a Pro Bowler. Like, what? Get the fuck out of here. Are you serious?
Oh man, it's hilarious.
Did you guys see this, Corb? I know you sent this in the group chat. Did you see this, Gary?
No.
They restructured, or they added a year to Cam's contract to open up $5.5 million in cap space. Think that means we're going after another a bigger name free agent?
I think it means Cam wanted another year and to make it look like he got something out of the team that he didn't get out of him last year.
He didn't either.
And they didn't feel like dealing with it again, so they just did.
Yes, they did it now and not at fucking camp like it happens the last 2 years.
Yep.
Exactly.
Here's some bonus money so we can save money in the cap. Shut up.
So you'll shut the fuck up.
This time, don't badmouth us on your stupid little podcast before we shut it down.
Yes.
And
exactly.
Yeah. Basically, I think that's probably it. But again, he was good last year. I don't begrudge him. He wanted something and he should have negotiated it better and smarter. His agent's a fool for letting all that play out, frankly.
Yeah. No, I don't disagree here.
I was wondering if they were maybe opening up some cap space to go after Dave's boy, Jalen Hawkins, or something at safety.
Maybe. Is Brisker, have you seen like what's going on with him too?
He's not signed anywhere.
Well, I don't know. Like he made the little eyes things, and then Alan Saunders did too. And I'm like, well, do you know something? Put it the fuck out there. Like
they might have both been at the strip club. It's possible.
Strip club.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I'm just saying. Yeah, why did they re-sign Cole Holcomb? That surprised me a little bit.
That was a little bit surprising as well.
Yeah.
He took basically a depth piece contract though, so they're not going to start him. He played
no,
pretty
I'm
well.
not concerned about the money or anything. It's just he was healthy last year and they didn't use him. So
yeah. Well, I was hoping that meant Malik Harrison would get cut since they're paying him $6.7 million.
I mean, I could say the same about Freiermuth though. So he was
I still
healthy.
think
They didn't
Malik
use
gets
him
cut.
either.
He might.
Think who gets cut?
Malik Harrison.
Oh, I think so, probably.
I wouldn't be shocked if he gets cut and we look at bringing Erob back, or maybe a name that I saw was interesting, Jamal Adams,
Really,
because he played with Patrick Graham and for the Raiders, and he played linebacker for Graham a lot.
Huh?
Do you think they're going to let the Caleb Johnson actually play this year now? Like that Tomlin's gone.
No, I think the Rico Dowdle signing shuts the door on that.
Yeah.
I think he becomes a trade target now for them.
Yeah,
dangle him out there.
I really liked his size, and I didn't like his decisiveness, like hitting the holes and everything. But sometimes that takes a little time, especially if you're doing like that zone blocking, like the Steelers do. I think that takes some time for running backs that come from those designed hole systems in college, like he did. So I was kind of hoping that they would take some time with him with McCarthy, and cause I really think kid's a freak athlete. I'd love to see him incorporated a little bit more. He got in Tomlin's doghouse and it was over. So I was kind of thinking
exactly. Look, I don't know, like you said, you just didn't get a good look at him. Mm-mm. And he's the type of back. It seems like he's got to get warmed up before he can get going.
I would think so. And,
it just didn't happen, like you said. Tomlin shut it down, like he shuts down many things.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I wouldn't mind Skowronek come back. I know you made a joke about him, but I really did like him on special teams, and I.
Yes, there you go.
And he was a good blocker that caught the ball better than people gave him credit for. They just didn't use him in that fashion.
Absolutely.
He's still under contract too, so he's still under contract. He should be here by all accounts.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with them. I'm just not fine with them being the wide receiver too.
I thought he was an okay wide receiver though. I really did. Like I just didn't think they threw him the ball ever. He was always like designed to be the irritant in the pattern.
No, like
they loved wasting things like
the
that.
way they schemed. I guess it is hard to really fucking tell.
You send 3-4 guys out in a pattern, and the Steelers are the only team in the league where only 2 of them are intended to actually be trying to catch a pass.
That's true.
The rest of them are designed to either get in the way or fool somebody or whatever. And it's like, how about you all try to get open? That would be really nice. Like I get like trying to set picks like down close to the line and everything to create some quick separation and everything. But when you're down the field, if you're both running like crossers, run your crossers. Like let's try to both get open. You don't both need to be like running parallel to each other, like
you're racing each other.
I just their entire scheme has frustrated me for the better part of this decade, really.
And
who's the last good offense we had
since we won a playoff game? So, weird.
What's the last good offense we had though? Ben Roethlisberger before the elbow.
Yeah,
probably him, Brown,
Killer
Le'Veon
Bees.
Bell. So Killer Bee era in 2016,
2020, 2018, maybe somewhere in there.
Yeah,
I think it was 2017 was the last time all of them were still together. I think.
That's the purgatory we've been in. Some of us, you guys are old enough, I think, have lived through Bubby Brister and Donald.
Oh yeah.
I was young, but yes.
We've lived through all this stuff before, and we knew how long and hard a journey it was from Terry Bradshaw to Ben Roethlisberger.
Bubby's the first quarterback that I have my memory of a little kid watching football.
Yeah.
Bubby Brewster. Yep.
My grandma claimed that Noel killed Mark Malone's career by making him wait too long to replace that bum Terry Bradshaw. That's That's my grandma. She hated Terry Bradshaw.
Damn.
Awesome.
Absolutely hated him. By the end, like she loved him for winning the Super Bowls, but he should have retired after that because he stunk then. And he wouldn't. And so,
I love it.
oh man, I just remember because back then, remember TVs were like a piece of fucking furniture in your house.
Yes.
Oh
remember,
yeah.
like so my grandparents had this giant box sitting on the floor there, and I remember watching the Steelers. And she goes, "Look at his elbow. How can you not tell he can't throw?" That was the best.
That's great. You're talking about the big brown boxes, right? The TVs,
Oh,
they're
yeah,
big
man.
brown. Yeah, dude.
Yep,
I
where
remember
all the old Polish grandmas had their nativity up year round up on top of it. Yep.
You turn off the TV and it had that little red dot.
It would hum for a half an hour.
Like, what the fuck is
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Looked like a sniper was pointing at it for half an hour.
Oh, shit.
But no, it takes a long time to get a quarterback. You got to luck into it. Even when they got Ben, that wasn't like an extraordinarily high pick.
There's 11th overall, I believe.
Right.
Wasn't
So
even
that
top 10.
Yeah, it's not like they moved way up. That was also an extraordinary quarterback draft. But
They got lucky in 2003. Had Tommy Maddox still. Tommy Gunn at quarterback. And, year two if it didn't go so well.
well, if Cowher had his way, Tommy Maddox probably would have continued starting that season, right?
You're right. He wanted to
and
draft no
probably
lineman.
wouldn't have drafted Ben
Yeah.
Roethlisberger. Yeah.
That was all Dan Rooney.
Well, I wish we had Dan back because they need
Yeah.
somebody to start steering the ship the right way again. I wish his son would take over.
Yeah.
Let's get Art the Second in there. They just need new blood. Somebody's going to run this team like a modern 20, whatever it is 21st century. I forget how that works. 21st century football team.
Yes.
Because they're not. I mean, these player polls are ridiculous and embarrassing every single year. These
5
idiotic
toilets.
contracts.
5 toilets for like 90 something guys during preseason. That's got to be rough. That's all I'm going to say.
I can't imagine.
No.
You know, I really can't. I mean, it wasn't that old. I mean, this wasn't that long ago that this was built. You know, you would think like they would have kind of known better. I mean, I could see like, okay, being jealous of like LA's new stadium because it's beautiful and everything.
Right.
I could see like going, oh man, that's really nice. Or what Buffalo's building, going like, oh man, that's going to be a freaking cathedral of football up there.
Yeah. Las Vegas.
I
is
get
new
it.
Stadium too.
Yeah, or Cleveland's brand new Mistake by the Lake they're going to build, whatever. You know, like there's always these nice new stadiums, and I can understand getting jealous, but this one was outdated before it went up.
Yeah,
and it sucks for concerts. I mean, it really does. I don't know if you've ever gone to one there. It sounds freaking terrible.
Not a concert, no.
All the sound escapes out the end. You can't hear it. I mean, you can barely hear. Like it's horrible. It really is. It's just a terrible venue in every way, shape, and form from the inside out, apparently. So,
which is so crazy because PNC Park is like one of the top parks in America for baseball, which is just nuts. But I guess they got to be, good at something. So, we have that.
Well, to be fair, that was the owners before that did that. So
this is true too. You're right. That's true.
So Tyrone wants to see Omar Cook tomorrow. You guys got anybody left on the free agent list that you want to see this team pursue?
You piqued my interest with Brisker. And when I saw he's from Pittsburgh, like, I don't know if you know, but like, he's literally from Pittsburgh and like all his ties are like, everything's here. It's like, oh yeah, bring our boy home. Let's do this.
I can't think of anything really that I want them to get now. I mean, a safety, but that's only because I thought they were going to move on from Ramsey.
My guard that got signed, didn't he? The one Green Bay cut?
Yep.
Jenkins or whatever his name is.
Which is interesting because he got cut with a medical issue. Like
really?
he got cut with he failed a physical. Is how they listed him when they cut him.
Shit. All right.
The Browns are just snatching up every bum ass lineman that's on the market
what
right now.
Yeah, what the
I
hell?
mean, they might as well just get the band back together because they're going to suck just as bad next year as they did last year.
I don't know what the Browns are doing anymore. I don't think they have a quarterback, really. Do you? Do you really see or feel threatened by Shador in the future or now?
No.
Like, I see the talent, I do, but I think that I think he's just way too loose in the pocket. I guess that's something you could tame the stallion out of him a little bit. But I just feel like he's had his dad in his ear telling him that his shit doesn't stink for so long. He's just not going to get coached out of what he thinks makes him a superstar.
No, and he's damaged goods. That's the way I look at it.
I mean, I think the kid's talented again. I just think he would have to have some coach that either overpowers his father's influence or shuts his father out entirely. And I don't think that the kid would accept that. I don't think Dylan Gabriel's anything. He sucks. They never should have traded Mayfield. Mayfield, they probably would have had a few more playoff runs by now if they had just held on to Mayfield.
I think you can thank Odell Beckham Jr. and his dad for that one.
I think you're right.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
They put that video out there of how bad he looked, and it convinced the Browns, I think, to get rid of him. But he had a huge shoulder injury, if I remember correctly, that season, and it wasn't easy to deal with. Anyways.
Yeah.
The Browns story could have changed right there, for real. They really could have been onto something.
You're right.
But what do you think of Baltimore this year? Like, I'm confused by their offseason. With the Max Crosby thing, I was like, okay, well, their defense blew. They had like some of the least sacks in the league.
Yeah, they had no rush attack at all. Like, that was the good thing for us was Rodgers could sit back there a little bit longer and let somebody get open because they had no rush attack at all.
Here's the problem with that whole situation that you guys maybe are reading it online as we're sitting here talking, but I've been thinking about them backing out of that deal. The Ravens have made corresponding moves since by letting others go and sign elsewhere that they probably would have retained if they didn't know that, if they knew he was going to back out of that. I wonder if they've got a potential lawsuit against the Raiders on their hands, honestly, for backing out of that. If they've signed anything or even come close to it, I know it's legal tampering, but I don't know how legal it is to back out of something like that and allow the other team to make some other moves like that. That could irreparably destroy them this offseason.
I mean, the Ravens let Lindenbaum go.
And likely.
Yep. And now this happens with Crosby. I mean,
right.
Crazy.
I'm just saying, like, Crosby was the reason you were okay letting those other guys go.
Right.
And now I'm like, uh-oh. Yeah.
They're in trouble.
Relic. Holy shit.
Relic's
here.
back.
The Ravens are now the New York Yankees, just signing everyone to try and get a ring. Well, yeah. Not going well for them. Yeah, hate to see it. Wyatt Teller is somebody I think the Steelers might get. Injured season, but he's usually good. So he was ranked, I think, 21 out of like 66 guards still, even with an injured season. His market value is only $10.2 million. So I think that's somebody that we might go after.
Yeah, I'm looking on the list. He's 44th on NFL, the NFL.com's list. Total overall of free agents. That's every position.
I thought you meant of guards. I'm like,
no.
I changed my mind.
No, total free agents. They had him listed at 44th.
Okay.
I'm probably crazy, but I'm somehow, even though I don't want him, I'm getting so talked into the fact that they're going to go after Kyler Murray.
You really think so?
I just think with the moves that they're making with bringing in Rico Dowdle and going after Michael Pittman and then getting Jamel Dean, like these aren't like, I mean, the one thing Dave's right about when you're talking about going and getting guys who are 28, 29, and then going to turn a year older by the time the season rolls around, these aren't long-term moves. You're not looking at keeping these guys for 5 years. I wonder if they're going to try to make a run at Kyler to say maybe we have enough pieces plus the draft capital to make a run.
Boy,
I don't think Rodgers does that.
I just have no faith in Kyler Murray. See over the line well enough, and I don't think he can stay healthy. He's a worse version of Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sure. If you watch the film, he drifts to his left or right every single time to see where everybody's at.
And I think ultimately he has the same problem. Like, you might get to the playoffs with him if you had a good team around him, but I don't know that he'll be available for them very often.
You want to know who wins championships with good players around them, Gary?
Ohio State quarterbacks, probably, is what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate the optimism, man. Like, Lord knows that as a Pirates fan, I have to look forward to prospects and pretend they're gonna do something. So I get it.
Yeah.
But
Cousins, how do you guys feel about Cousins?
I don't know. I don't know why. I feel like he got done dirty in Atlanta a little bit, honestly.
Yeah. He actually looked good when he came out, when they benched. He came at the end of the season this past year. He actually looked pretty good, didn't he?
He looked fine in Minnesota. Cousins is one of those guys that, like, nobody ever wants to admit he's as good as you can do, but he's pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Remember back in the day, like Jeff George used to run around the league.
Jeff George, wow!
Remember Jeff George? Because he could throw the ball so freaking hard. Everybody was like, "Oh my god, this is the most arm talent since Elway," and it was.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
How many teams did he play for, David? Like 10?
Mm-hmm.
Like, because everybody and their mother gave him a shot. It's the same.
Everybody
kind of
wanted to see if they could fix him, and it would work and go all the way. Yeah, no, that's a great name to bring up. Oh man, I don't know. I if I had to like vote, like I really wish they would just say fuck it, and if Aaron's not coming back, run it with Howard. Now
I think
gun to my head, pick a free agent. I think I would take Murray over Cousins because he's mobile, and I think McCarthy can make that work.
Are they going to use the mobility though?
McCarthy will. He likes to move the pocket.
I was going to say
he didn't use it with Dax though.
A little
bit,
not as much. He did a lot more with Rodgers, I think, but
with Rodgers, he did it a lot. Actually,
as mobile as Dak is, Dak never really was like a roll out and throw on the run kind of quarterback. He was more of a pocket passer. He's always kind of been a pocket passer.
He used to be a threat to squeak up the middle for about 10-15 too, though. That was a big part of his game, and it went away, like specifically when they changed coaches from Garrett to McCarthy. So I was wondering if that came from McCarthy or if that was Dak's just getting older and having a new coach and a little more influence.
Didn't Dak get hurt the year?
He might have.
Dak got hurt, I think, the year before McCarthy took over. Didn't he have?
Maybe that changed it then.
Yeah, I was thinking there was an injury in there somewhere. I couldn't remember if that was before or after McCarthy.
Dak's another one that's not really that good. He's Tony Romo, almost exactly. Pretty good. Good enough. You know, like a Dalton. That kind. Flacco, except for once.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if Tomlin was still here and Rodgers didn't come back, that man would go get Joe Flacco.
Oh, in a heartbeat.
I'm really convinced.
You're probably right. And then
what is that? If you can't beat him, join him.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
And then every single week, he would come to the podium and talk about the danger of the other team's mobility at quarterback. And my question would always be like, why do you never think of getting one then? You know, like you literally stand here and talk about it every freaking week. And it's like, at some point, why don't you pound your hand on the table and demand that you get one? Yes. So that other people can be talking about how dangerous your quarterback's legs are. You know, or when you get one, let them do it. You know, like Fields.
Yeah.
No, let's turn Fields into a pocket passer that only throws outside the hash marks.
No, I used to love when Tomlin would say there's going to be change, or Rooney would, and they'd fire the janitor or something. That was really about it. You're like, all right, that's a lot of change. Thanks, boys.
I saw people very upset that Danny Smith left the team, and I was like,
yeah.
It's a special teams coordinator. I mean, like, I don't care.
I know. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. And KJ didn't know what to do with the ball when it went over his head. So, not great. Not a good look. Yeah.
His whole career bounced over his head.
Well put.
Yeah, that was good. His whole career.
It probably did, sadly enough.
Dude, my phone is blowing up about this Ravens thing. My phone
Dude,
is
I know.
blowing up.
I know. The group chat's going crazy right now.
Jesus.
That's good.
All right, so let's get into this a little bit of draft talk because we're going to rein the chat back into because they're going all over the place with Rico Dowdle right now. Who has your choice for the first round pick changed with the moves that we've made? Is there a certain player that you were targeting that you maybe changed, position that you've maybe changed your mind on, or are you still kind of riding wherever you were before?
I personally think they need an offensive lineman now. So I think that they should think about moving up for that, for the best one that they can get. I don't think they have to move into the top 10 for that, but you want to be around there, you know?
Me personally, I still want them to take a wide receiver if one of the top 4 or 5 are there. I really like Cooper. If he's there, I would take him. However, if Vega Ione, the guard out of Penn State, somehow falls to 21, and they still haven't signed one yet, okay. But I want them to target either Ione, Pregnon, Bastonis, Rutledge, one of those guards. I want them to target this draft, no matter what. But yeah, my guys are Cooper or Ione at 21.
That'll be 3 years in a row for an offensive lineman if they go that route.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, at least it's not a tackle this time.
But have we gotten one yet? Like, do we believe in Fautano?
Yes, I do.
Trent's a big Fautano guy. I thought he was getting better as the season went on, and then he had a terrible playoff game.
I'm genuinely asking too. I don't have like a strong opinion about it.
I mean, the whole O-line struggled against the Texans, to be fair, but Fautano had a really bad game. I don't know why his was so bad, but
well, I can tell you why. His name's Willie Anderson.
Yeah, I was going to say he's facing Anderson.
One of the best pass rushers in the league. Kind of got him.
But I don't know. Like
this is basically his rookie season too.
But point is, you feel like okay, that position is okay. We're okay with the center. I mean, I think he's a little undersized, but he seems to hold up okay.
Zach
Frazier?
Yeah,
Zach Frazier.
By God, West Virginia. Yeah,
he seems to be okay, right?
Oh, he's a little better than okay.
Is Broderick going to be okay?
No. No.
I mean, health wise,
there's conflicting reports about him being at camp. I've seen some say that they feel optimistic. I've seen others saying that they're not so optimistic. I don't know with him. That's why I'm not sure Rasheed Walker's off the table in free agency. The Packers tackle. Maybe that's why they're opening up cap space with Cam Hayward's deal.
Yeah, Broderick's that neck injury is a serious injury, I guess.
Yeah, so, that's why I wasn't sure what they were going to do there. But
when you got a guy who was the right tackle, now he's the left tackle. Now there's talk maybe they'll make him the guard. I mean, that kind of says something in itself, in my opinion.
I think that's coming from me and Bob mostly.
It is. But that's okay.
I mean, but they're definitely short. They definitely need another offensive lineman.
They need a guard, right? Possibly a tackle.
They cut. Is it Calvin Anderson or Spencer Anderson? They cut
Calvin Anderson.
Calvin. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they really need to get a guard bad. So
3 years in a row, and they might have one so far that has actually panned out. Right?
Yeah, kind of.
And we've got a team that has got to be ready to go right away because that's the type of team they're building. And if you bring back Aaron Rodgers, that's the type of team you better have. So you're probably not starting a rookie over there to protect his blind side.
You'd think
right?
not, but at this point, I don't know.
My point is, like, and there's nobody on the free agent board. And I don't hear any rumored trade availabilities that the Browns haven't already gotten. So
yeah,
he's not kidding either. Jesus.
Well, so my point is, like, I'm not sure I feel great about the offensive line, and that's where Omar Khan has focused his attention for the last 3 drafts. And you can talk about bad luck with injuries and everything, but that's not good.
No.
You said, and Weidl was here specifically to build up a Philadelphia Eagles style line. Where's that?
Oh no, we're taking shot at Dave's boys. The Weidl Letters.
But I'm saying, where is it? Where is that? That was his express purpose, was to build up the offensive and defensive lines.
He's not wrong.
Where are they?
Right.
We're still extending Methuselah on the defensive line. I don't see us, we're not really necessarily rebuilding that. I know we drafted somebody, but he wasn't necessarily dominant. He was okay.
Yeah.
Offensive line hasn't taken off yet. Where is the success of that vaunted line magician?
Well, Benton should not be the nose. He needs to get bumped out.
That's the problem.
That's the big problem. They definitely need another D lineman.
They don't play a nose anymore, though.
Well, they do.
Yeah. I don't know what the percentage of base was this year.
Yeah, I know. I don't either.
Slightly, a little less than 30%, maybe. They played a lot more base toward the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I haven't looked it up, though.
They've got Benton out of position. So that's the problem.
Yeah.
And they're old, so they're locked in everywhere.
Well,
we talk about
wrong.
what they need and whatnot. Like, what they need isn't on the market, really, unless you're going to go and take a stab at one of those quarterbacks. I really don't see the offensive lineman out on the free agent board that would step in.
They're pretty much all going outside of Walker. Walker, I think, is the only guy left.
That said, last year, we grabbed the guy off the street and he started at left tackle, down the stretch and into the playoffs, and was arguably our best lineman.
Yeah, he was better than Broderick.
Maybe not being coached by the Steelers was best for business. I don't know.
Everybody knows except Bob. Bob's like, oh no, Broderick was still better. No, he wasn't. So. I'm
just saying. I mean, we've invested a lot in that position. It feels like the offensive line should be further along by now. The project. It shouldn't take that long to reconstruct a line in the NFL.
Right.
It shouldn't.
They hit on Zach Frazier.
Yeah.
And
it's just as inexcusable as making fun of Cincinnati for not being able to defend Burrows.
Mm-hmm. True.
Because you should be able to address those needs in the draft, at least to that point. You can get really good linemen in the second and third round.
Yeah, if they go O lineman again in the first round, it's not a good look. You're basically right when you put it like that.
But you got to do what you got to do. I'm just saying, saying, if you look back and you're going to give a report card to Khan, okay, or are we blaming Tomlin for the drafts? Where do you guys fall on that?
I think that Tomlin does have an impact in these drafts. I do, because and it will did. Here's the thing.
Agree.
So if you look at the timeline of when Kevin Colbert was drafting, just killing it, right, in the 2000s, and you get to the 2010s, and we start to go downhill, you see the articles where it says Tomlin's more involved with drafts now. And you see how they go so downhill with their draft picks. I think I looked it up, Trent. Didn't I see they drafted a defensive player in the first round 8 years straight?
Yeah. Yep.
8 years straight, Gary. they drafted a defensive player in the first round. So what kind of coach do we had at the time? A defensive-minded head coach.
Yeah.
So,
and it's the most expensive defense in the league. What, 4 years running, right?
Yeah.
And it's not Chicago's defense. It's certainly not Texans' defense. It's there's just a lot that needs to be like. If you're going to draft that 8 times in a row, you shouldn't have the most expensive defense in the game.
Where they really went wrong, Gary, was in the 2019 season. Ben shreds his elbow, and what do? They trade away their first round pick for Minkah Fitzpatrick to go 8-8 when the draft coming up was going to be Joe Burrow, Jordan Love. There was like 5 top guys they could have got to be the heir apparent to Ben, and they decided not to do it.
Right.
Instead, they traded away their first round pick for a safety to go 8-8.
But you know who looks back on that story fondly? Every single time he sinks his face into that sweet, sweet woman, Duck Hodges. Duck Hodges, every time he looks at Lainey Wilson, goes, "Thank God the Steelers are retarded."
Yes.
Because there's absolutely no way I would be where I am if that hadn't happened.
Yes. Tomlin and Kevin Colbert said, "Let's run it with Duck Hodges. We got a brand new safety. Let's do this." And that was
next thing you know.
And they went 8-8.
You know, he's listening to some girl singing in a honky tonk bar. And he's I used to play for the Steelers.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
Duck had a generational run for 3 games.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Duck had a Forrest Gump existence in football. He really did. He might as well have just been.
And then I can't remember which team it was, but they were like, let's blitz Duck and see what happens. And they damn near killed him. That was a wrap, boys.
Oh, God.
It's funny.
I wasn't ready for this to be a Duck Hodges show.
Listen, you invited somebody outside of your world into this show, and you had to expect something funny to happen.
I
love it.
Love it. Yes.
We're here for it. We're here for it.
Yes, we are.
All in all, boys, though, I expect, 9-8, 10-7.
Yeah.
Divisional round exit.
Yeah. Exactly. Quickly.
Probably Aaron Rodgers with a few steroid shots around week 18 or so. He'll be able to do something.
Smokes a little Ouska or whatever it's called, whatever drug it is.
Whatever he does.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, now that we got the second wide receiver, what is going to be the new Steelers fan marching cry? Because that was the only thing anybody wanted. And now they got it. So what's the new thing that they're too stupid to get and everyone in the world can see?
It's got to be left tackle now at this point.
It might be.
It's got to be left tackle.
Yeah.
So everything they do from now on, just using Pirates fan logic, it doesn't matter what they do. They could just literally announce a new charity, and underneath it, you have to tweet, "Where's the left tackle?" Okay, so it doesn't matter what they do. Okay, just if you want to be a good Pirates/Steeler fan, this is the way you have to handle it. You have to be completely immature about it. It's a lot like trying to get the SAVE Act passed from what I see online. You just keep saying it often enough. Eventually, it'll get done.
Yeah, absolutely.
NFL Network's reporting that the Cowboys are now in on the Max Crosby sweepstakes. They're trying to revisit talks.
Can they offer more than 2 first rounds? And would Jerry be that stupid?
Yes.
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 And yes.
Yes is the answer to the second part. Absolutely.
Correct.
But man, they just absolutely blindsided the Ravens. And I love it. I really do.
Imagine being dumb enough to trade Micah Parsons, who is an outside edge rusher, for 2 first-round draft picks just to trade 2 first-round draft picks for an older Max Crosby.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
That is only something the Cowboys could pull off.
That's a
I'm
Cowboy
sorry.
thing.
That is
Max
an absolute
Crosby-
Cowboys move.
Max
Yeah.
Crosby and George Pickens are going to get along thick as thieves too. I'm just going to tell you
Yeah.
right now. It's going to be a great union down there in Dallas.
I'm going to go on record. George Pickens will never play another snap for the Dallas Cowboys.
You think so?
They franchise tagged him, and he's going to see these other guys getting paid, and he ain't getting paid. Do you think he's going to play there? He ain't going to play. He's going to force a trade.
I'm here for it. And somebody will absolutely trade for him and give him a bag.
Mm-hmm.
And
I hope it's the Jets.
and then they'll treat him like a number one and quickly realize that he's a number one when he wants to be. And unfortunately, he doesn't want to be.
No, he's
Most like at sporadic times.
absolute cancer.
And sometimes
He
those are
is.
the biggest moments.
Yeah.
That's why I cannot see if they pull this trade off. There's no way I can see Pickens playing there. There's just no way. He's not going to play under that franchise tag.
Well, so be it. Poor George
And I'm here
Pickens
for
is
the whole
someone
thing. I
else's
wanna-
problem.
Yeah, I want to see the whole thing blow up.
Well, gentlemen, this has been great, but I'm running up on my time here. I gotta hit that dusty trail,
All right.
Sounds
do
good.
another podcast. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Corb, did you have
We're gonna
anything else?
talk about the Steelers? I don't know. How do you guys feel about Rodgers? Like, if he comes back, do you think it's a mistake, or do you think at this point it's just about the best move they can make? Really, like
just-
realistically.
They're just going to go 10-7, 9-8 with him. Period.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
That might be enough to win this division.
But personally, I want them to either make a run or really, really suck for the 27 draft.
I'm coming at it from a Pirates fan perspective, right? What Steelers fans are dissatisfied with, and I being one, is exactly what Pirates fans would kill for.
You're
To
right.
be perpetually competitive and always in the conversation and always a lucky player acquisition away from something really, really good. The Pirates haven't been able to say that in a really long time. So I think a lot of Pirates fans would kill for what the Steelers fans have, right? Now, if
You're
you're
not
fans of both, I am, and you are, David, at least. I'm sure you are, Trent. You're wearing a Pirates hat. Then you can see both sides of that coin. I'm sure
Yes,
maybe
I
that
can.
well, I think maybe that helps you be a little more balanced about the Steelers, actually, because you can appreciate that they aren't as bad as some of these other teams like the Jets. But at the same time, they're never going to achieve the greatness unless they
Right.
shake this tree up a little bit.
The
Do
way I
things differently.
the way I approach this is that because of the Steelers are in purgatory because they're always picking after 20. And everybody knows that to have a real shot at a franchise quarterback, you need to be in like the top 15. And they never are.
But there are
so they-
ways to remedy that they refuse to ever try.
Straight
Like,
up.
You could trade TJ Watt for a haul of picks a couple
True.
years ago and use those picks to make it look like you sucked and buy your way up into the top.
Mm-hmm.
These
True.
are things that they don't do.
No.
And when they do, they make a pick like that crappy linebacker they got a couple years ago that
Bush.
yeah. Like
Devin Bush.
Yeah.
so I don't know. I want them to get adventurous. I wonder if Khan has already been like poisoned too much with the way they were doing things, or if like he's waiting to like now I can do things my way. That's kind of what I'm anxious to see this
Yeah.
year if the draft looks a little bit different. So far in free agency, I don't think it looks a lot different. Still going for older players to solve your problems and not really solving the biggest problem.
Well, my thing with that is that they're not going after 34-year-olds. They're going after 28, 29-year-olds. So my hope is these guys still have like a couple years of their prime left before they start to decline. That's my hope.
Yeah.
I'd like that to be the case.
You be both.
But
We'll
anyways,
find out
here we go,
soon
Steelers.
enough.
I'm still going to watch, and I still love them, and I still care. And even if they just make the playoffs and lose, I'll still like them. But
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I'll just complain.
Well,
That's all.
Gary, we appreciate you joining us tonight.
Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sure
fun.
Corder will be talking some Pirates baseball with you here before too long. He's been itching
sure.
to talk about it on his pod. Until next time, we don't have anything until Friday show, right?
Sure. I don't know.
Well, I didn't know when you guys were starting up your baseball fantasy pod. But,
I have no idea.
I think it was next week, maybe Bob was talking about. So nothing until Steelers Sanctuary on Friday. Until next time, chat. You guys are fantastic. Have a good day.
And just like that, I left everything. See ya!